Rhode Island is a place full of delightful contradictions. It is the smallest state in America, a tiny speck on the map that you could almost cover with your thumb, yet it packs more history, coastline, and character into its small frame than states many times its size. Most people think they know Rhode Island. They picture Gilded Age mansions in Newport, or maybe a nice clam chowder. But the real story is much stranger and more fascinating. It is a place where a state can have a coastline longer than its width, where counties don't really exist, and where the entire American Industrial Revolution kicked off along the banks of a single, hard-working river. It's a state that proves, without a doubt, that good things and weird things often come in very small packages. For a long time, the state had the longest official name in the country, the state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations. It was a mouthful, a leftover from its colonial days when it was formed from two separate colonies. One was the settlement of Providence Plantations on the mainland, and the other was the colony on Aquidneck Island, which was called Rhode Island. In November 2020, voters decided it was time for a change. They voted to shorten the name to simply Rhode Island. The word plantations had uncomfortable connections to slavery, and it was time to move on. So, the smallest state shed its longest name, a small change that spoke volumes about its modern identity. This little state is a treasure trove of odd facts and historical firsts. It was the first of the 13 colonies to declare independence from Great Britain, doing so a full 2 months before anyone else. It was also the last of the 13 to ratify the U.S. Constitution, holding out until it was absolutely sure it was a good idea. This independent, slightly stubborn streak is part of what makes Rhode Island so unique. It has always done things its own way, on its own time. From its founding by religious dissidents seeking freedom to its modern-day quirks, the state is a testament to the idea that being different is not just okay, it's interesting. So, let's take a journey through this wonderfully peculiar place. We will explore its surprisingly vast coastline, its dense forests, and its phantom county governments. We'll see how a single bay shaped its destiny and how a powerful river changed a nation forever. We will uncover rocks that are unique to one small town and cliffs that stand guard over the Atlantic. By the end, you will see that Rhode Island is not just a small state, it is a universe of stories packed into a tiny corner of New England. It is a place where every square mile has a tale to tell, and almost none of them are what you would expect. Get ready to be surprised by the Ocean State. When people say Rhode Island is small, they are not exaggerating. It is genuinely tiny. The state measures about 48 miles from north to south and only 37 miles from east to west. You could drive across it in less than an hour, which is something you definitely cannot say about Texas or California. In fact, the entire state of Rhode Island could fit inside Alaska more than 400 times over. It is so small that its total area, just 1,214 square miles, feels more like a large county than a whole state. This diminutive size has shaped everything about it, from its politics to its culture. Everyone seems to know everyone else, creating a tight-knit community feel that is rare in modern America. Despite its tiny land area, Rhode Island has a secret weapon: water. About 14% of the state is not land at all, but water. It is filled with bays, inlets, and tidal rivers. This means that no matter where you are in Rhode Island, you are never more than a 30-minute drive from the salty air of the Atlantic Ocean. This proximity to the sea is the state's defining feature. It is why it is called the Ocean State, a nickname that captures its identity perfectly. The entire state seems to lean towards the water, drawn by the tides and the promise of the open sea. This constant presence of the ocean has influenced its economy, its food, and the very soul of its people. Here is where it gets really interesting. For a state that is only 37 miles wide, Rhode Island has a staggering 400 miles of coastline. How is that possible? The answer lies in Narragansett Bay. This massive bay carves deep into the state, creating hundreds of miles of nooks, crannies, coves, and river mouths. It is an example of something called the coastline paradox, where the more closely you measure a jagged line, the longer it becomes. If you were a tiny ant walking along every twist and turn of the shore, your journey would be immense. This extensive shoreline gives Rhode Island more coast per square mile than almost anywhere else on Earth. A remarkable fact for America's smallest state. This combination of small size and long coastline makes Rhode Island a place of startling contrasts. You can be in a dense, bustling city like Providence one moment and then, just a few minutes later, find yourself on a quiet, sandy beach looking out at the vast Atlantic. The state feels both cozy and expansive at the same time. Its compact nature means everything is accessible, while its watery heart gives it a sense of boundless space. It is a place where you can experience the intimacy of a small town and the grandeur of the ocean all in the same afternoon. It is this unique geography that makes Rhode Island a place unlike any other. You might think that a state this small and this densely populated would be nothing but cities and suburbs. After all, Rhode Island is the second most densely populated state in the country, right after New Jersey, but that is another one of its wonderful surprises. A remarkable 59% of Rhode Island is covered in forest. Once you leave the urban corridor around Providence, the landscape quickly gives way to rolling woodlands of oak and maple trees. These forests are a vital part of the state's character, offering quiet retreats and a reminder of the wild nature that still thrives here. It is a green, leafy state that defies expectations. The geography of Rhode Island is neatly split into two distinct regions. The eastern part of the state is the coastal lowlands. This area is mostly flat and is dominated by Narragansett Bay and its many islands. This is where you will find the sandy beaches, salt marshes, and historic port towns. To the west, the landscape changes dramatically. You enter the New England uplands, a region of rolling hills, rocky outcrops, and dense forests. The state's highest point, Jeremith Hill, is located here. At a modest 812 feet, it is not exactly Mount Everest, but it represents the rugged rocky heart of western Rhode Island, a world away from the coastal plains in the east. Now for one of the strangest facts about how Rhode Island is run. The state is divided into 5 counties: Providence, Kent, Bristol, Newport, and Washington. You will see them on maps, and you will hear them mentioned in weather reports. But here is the thing, they don't really do anything. The county governments were completely abolished way back in the 19th century. They exist today only as geographical markers and for the court system. All the real work of local government, schools, roads, police, is handled by the state and its 39 individual towns and cities. So, if you say you are from Washington County, you are really just saying you are from a certain part of the state, not from a place with its own county government. This lack of county government is another example of Rhode Island's unique streamlined approach. It keeps power at the local level, in the hands of the towns and cities. The state also shares borders with its neighbors in predictable and not so predictable ways. It has land borders with Connecticut to the west and Massachusetts to the north and east, but it also has a maritime border. Out in the waters of the Atlantic, between Block Island and New York's Long Island, Rhode Island shares a watery boundary with the state of New York. It is a reminder that Rhode Island's influence and identity extend far out into the ocean that gives it its name. If Rhode Island has a heart, it is Narragansett Bay. This enormous estuary is the state's single most important geographical feature, shaping its history, its economy, and its very identity. The bay is not just a body of water, it is a sprawling complex system of channels, coves, and islands that reaches deep into the mainland. It was carved out by massive glaciers during the last ice age, about 12,000 years ago. As the glaciers retreated, they scraped out a deep valley, and the rising sea levels flooded it, creating the bay we see today. This glacial origin gave the bay its deep water channels and sheltered harbors, which would prove crucial for the state's future. The bay is home to more than 30 islands, each with its own character and history. These islands, scattered like jewels across the water, add to the bay's complexity and beauty. For centuries, Narragansett Bay was the main highway of Rhode Island. It was the center of colonial trade, connecting the state to the rest of the world. Its deep harbors made it an ideal location for shipping and naval activity. The city of Newport, located on the bay, became one of the most important ports in colonial America. The bay was the lifeblood of the early colony, and it remains central to the state's culture and economy today, supporting fishing, boating, and tourism. The strategic importance of Narragansett Bay cannot be overstated. Its sheltered waters provided a perfect base for naval operations, a fact that was not lost on the British during the Revolutionary War. They occupied Newport for several years, recognizing the bay's value in controlling the seas. Later, the U.S. Navy established major bases here, further cementing the bay's role in national defense. The bay's influence extends beyond military and commercial matters. It is a massive ecological system, supporting a rich diversity of marine life. It is a playground for sailors, a source of inspiration for artists, and a beloved backyard for everyone who lives near its shores. Today, the bay faces modern challenges like pollution and climate change, but Rhode Islanders are fiercely protective of their state's greatest natural asset. Efforts to clean up the bay and restore its habitats are a major priority. For the people of Rhode Island, Narragansett Bay is more than just a feature on a map. It is a part of their heritage, a source of their livelihood, and the very symbol of the ocean state. It is the beautiful blue heart that pumps life through the smallest state in the Union, connecting its past, present, and future in one magnificent body of water. When you look at a map of Rhode Island, you can't miss the islands. They're honestly a fundamental part of its geography, and, well, its name. In fact, the Rhode Island part of the state's original long name actually referred specifically to the largest island in Narragansett Bay, Aquidneck Island. It's believed that the explorer Giovanni da Verrazzano, way back in the 16th century, thought a nearby island, likely Block Island, resembled the Greek island of Rhodes. The name stuck, and eventually, English colonists applied it to Aquidneck Island. Today, Aquidneck Island is home to 3 towns, including the famous city of Newport, and it remains the state's most populous and important island. The second largest island in the bay is Conanicut Island, which is home to the town of Jamestown. It sits right in the middle of the bay, connected to the mainland on the west, and to Aquidneck Island on the east by 2 magnificent bridges. Conanicut Island has, a more rural and relaxed feel than its bustling neighbor. Its southern tip is home to Beavertail State Park, which offers stunning ocean views and one of the oldest lighthouse sites in the nation. The island serves as a vital link in the state's transportation network, but it's managed to maintain its own quiet, distinct identity, a peaceful haven between the 2 sides of the bay. Prudence Island is the 3rd largest island, and honestly, it feels like a step back in time. It's much more sparsely populated than Aquidneck or Conanicut, with a large portion of the island preserved as a national estuary and research reserve. There are just a few paved roads, and the island is accessible only by ferry. This relative isolation has really helped preserve its natural beauty and quiet character. It's a place for nature lovers, a sanctuary for wildlife, and a reminder of what the bay's islands were like before bridges and development arrived. Prudence Island offers a glimpse of a slower, more peaceful way of life, right in the middle of the busy bay. Beyond these 3 major islands, Narragansett Bay is dotted with over 30 smaller ones, like Rose Island, Hope Island, and Patience Island. Each has its own story. Rose Island has a restored lighthouse where you can even stay overnight. Block Island, though not in the bay, is perhaps Rhode Island's most famous island destination. It lies about 12 miles off the coast, a beautiful and rugged outpost in the Atlantic. These islands are not just pieces of land, they're really integral to the state's identity. They give Rhode Island its unique maritime character and contribute to its incredible 400-mile coastline. They're the scattered pieces that make the ocean state whole. Not all revolutions begin with battles and declarations. Some begin with the quiet hum of machinery and the steady flow of water. The American Industrial Revolution began right here in Rhode Island, on the banks of the Blackstone River. This powerful river flows for 48 miles from Worcester, Massachusetts, down to Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Along its course, it drops a steep 438 feet. This dramatic change in elevation created immense potential energy, just waiting to be harnessed. For this reason, the Blackstone became known as the hardest working river in America, and it was here that the nation's future was forged in water and steel. The key moment came in 1793. A man named Samuel Slater, an English immigrant with a brilliant memory for textile machinery designs, arrived in Pawtucket. At the time, England guarded its industrial technology fiercely. Slater, however, had memorized the plans for Richard Arkwright's revolutionary water-powered cotton spinning frame. He teamed up with local investors and built the first successful water-powered textile mill in the United States at Pawtucket Falls. This single act lit the fuse. Slater's mill, as it came to be known, was a massive success, and it marked the birth of the American factory system. The success of Slater's mill set off a chain reaction. Entrepreneurs flocked to the Blackstone River Valley, eager to build their own mills and tap into the river's power. Dozens of mill villages sprang up along the river's banks in both Rhode Island and Massachusetts. These villages were complete communities, with factories, worker housing, churches, and stores, all centered around the life-giving, power-giving river. The Blackstone River Valley became the first industrialized region in the United States, a bustling corridor of innovation and production. The river that had once been a pristine waterway was now the engine of a new industrial economy. This revolution came at a cost, of course. The river became heavily polluted with industrial waste, earning it a less flattering reputation, but its historical importance is undeniable. The Blackstone River literally changed the course of American history, shifting the nation from an agrarian society to an industrial powerhouse. Today, the Blackstone River Valley is a national historical park, preserving the story of its industrial past. The river itself is much cleaner now, a testament to decades of restoration work. It stands as a powerful monument to American ingenuity and the profound impact that one small river in one small state can have on the entire world. While Narragansett Bay and the Atlantic Ocean get most of the attention, Rhode Island's freshwater bodies have their own fascinating stories. The largest single body of fresh water in the state is the Scituate Reservoir, but it is not a natural lake. It is a massive man-made reservoir created in the 1920s. To build it, the state dammed the Pawtuxet River, a project of enormous scale. The rising waters completely flooded several villages, including the original settlement of Scituate. The homes, farms, and churches of these lost communities now lie at the bottom of the reservoir. Today, this vast body of water supplies clean drinking water to more than half of Rhode Island's population, a silent liquid monument to the villages sacrificed for its creation. Moving from man-made lakes to natural ones, the largest natural freshwater lake in Rhode Island is Warden's Pond in South Kingstown. It covers over 1,000 acres, but it is surprisingly shallow with an average depth of only 4 feet. Warden's Pond is what geologists call a glacial kettle pond. It was formed when a massive block of ice, left behind by a retreating glacier, was buried in sediment. As the ice block slowly melted, it left behind a depression that filled with water. Its shallow, sprawling nature makes it a vital habitat for birds and other wildlife, a peaceful and ancient feature of the landscape. Along the state's southern coast you will find a series of beautiful coastal salt ponds. The largest of these is Ninigret Pond, which covers about 1,700 acres. These ponds are unique ecosystems, separated from the open Atlantic by a thin strip of land called a barrier beach. A narrow channel, or breachway, allows saltwater from the ocean to mix with fresh water from streams, creating a brackish environment that supports a rich diversity of life, including oysters, clams, and fish. These salt ponds are treasured for their natural beauty and recreational opportunities, offering calm waters for kayaking, fishing, and bird watching, just steps away from the crashing waves of the ocean. Rhode Island also has its share of confusingly named waterways. The Saconet River is a perfect example. Despite its name, it is not a river at all. It is a 14-mile-long tidal strait, a channel of salt water that separates Aquidneck Island from the mainland on the eastern side. Its strong tidal currents and salty water make it feel more like an arm of the sea than a river. Then, there is the Pawcatuck River, which forms a large part of the border between Rhode Island and Connecticut in the southwest. From the massive Scituate Reservoir to the shallow Warden's Pond and the salty Saconet River, Rhode Island's inland waters are as varied and interesting as its famous coastline. Rhode Island's geology holds some unique and surprising treasures, including an official state rock that is found almost nowhere else on Earth. This rock is called Cumberlandite, and it is found in large quantities only in one place, the town of Cumberland, Rhode Island. Cumberlandite is a heavy, dark volcanic rock that is slightly magnetic due to its high concentration of iron and titanium. It is a geological oddity, a remnant of ancient volcanic activity that left behind this unique mineral deposit. For centuries, it was mined for its iron content, but today it is mostly a point of pride for geologists and rockhounds, a true Rhode Island original. Another stunning geological feature is found on Block Island. The Mohegan Bluffs are a series of dramatic clay cliffs that rise about 150 feet above the Atlantic Ocean on the island's southern shore. They get their name from a historical battle between the Mohegan and Nyanek tribes that took place at their base. The cliffs are constantly eroding, sculpted by the wind and waves into a breathtaking natural spectacle. A long wooden staircase leads down from the top of the bluffs to the rocky beach below, offering visitors a chance to appreciate their scale and raw beauty up close. They are a powerful reminder of the forces of nature that shape our coastline. Back on the mainland, in the town of Cumberland, you will find another geological wonder, Diamond Hill. It is not a mountain of actual diamonds, but a massive vein of white quartz that runs through the area. For generations, people came here to find sparkling quartz crystals that glittered like diamonds in the sun, which is how the hill got its name. The quartz is so prominent that it makes the entire hillside appear white and crystalline. While the days of easy crystal hunting are mostly over, the site remains a popular park and a testament to the unique mineral wealth hidden beneath Rhode Island's soil. Even the famous Newport Cliff Walk is a geological journey. The 3.5-mile path winds its way along the shoreline, with Gilded Age mansions on one side and the rocky coast on the other. The cliffs themselves are a fascinating mix of different rock types. You can see layers of metamorphic rock like schist and phyllite, which are hundreds of millions of years old, alongside layers of sedimentary rock called conglomerate, which looks like naturally made concrete. The cliff walk is not just a beautiful stroll, it is a walk through geological time, showcasing the ancient foundations upon which Newport's glamorous history was built. Rhode Island's landscape is not just shaped by nature, it is also defined by remarkable feats of human engineering. One of the most important is the Fox Point Hurricane Barrier in Providence. Completed in 1966, it was the first structure of its kind in the United States. Following devastating hurricanes in 1938 and 1954 that flooded downtown Providence, the city needed a solution. The barrier consists of a dam with 3 massive gates that can be closed to seal off the Providence River from storm surges coming up Narragansett Bay. It is a powerful piece of protective engineering that stands as a silent guardian, protecting the state's capital from the wrath of the sea. Connecting the state's islands and shores are a series of iconic bridges. The Mount Hope Bridge, a graceful suspension bridge completed in 1929, connects Bristol to Aquidneck Island. When it was built, it was the longest suspension bridge in all of New England, an engineering marvel of its time. It soars 135 feet above Mount Hope Bay, offering breathtaking views to those who cross it. Another impressive structure is the Claiborne Pell Bridge, which connects Jamestown to Newport. Its sweeping, elegant design has made it a symbol of the state. These bridges are not just transportation links, they are beloved landmarks that define the Rhode Island skyline. The state is also home to some fascinating historical sites that tell the story of its early conflicts. Mount Hope, a hill in Bristol rising 200 feet above the bay, was the seat of power for the Wampanoag people and their leader, Metacomet, whom the English called King Philip. It was from here that Metacomet led a major uprising against the colonists in 1675, known as King Philip's War. Another key site from that war is the Great Swamp in South Kingstown. This vast wetland was the site of a brutal battle where colonial forces attacked a massive Narragansett fort. These places are somber reminders of the violent conflicts that shaped the state's early history. From the notorious waters of Point Judith, known as the Graveyard of the Atlantic, where a lighthouse has stood since 1810, to the quiet woods of Beavertail State Park, home to one of America's oldest lighthouse sites, Rhode Island is rich with history. It is a state where the past is always present. In the end, Rhode Island may be small in size, but it is immense in its stories, its surprises, and its significance. It is a place of contrasts, tiny but mighty, old but innovative, forested but coastal. It proves that you do not need a lot of land to have a huge impact on the nation and to create a world of wonders all your own.